Okay, so we're going to kick it off with just reading off the people that have hit Success Club 10 already. We got today, tomorrow, and Friday is the last day of the month. So we still got almost 3 days, a little less than 3 days left. So Success Club 10, we got Lauren Deal with 10. Brand new coach, killing it right out of the gate. Got her 5 best friends. We got Alicia Falling, Jessica Kubal, Lillian Barrio, Richard Burke, Anina Paulusi, Ashley Feldenson, Susie Bell, Susie Reyes, Dr. Michael Santapadre. That's my chiropractor from Boston. Sydney Freeman, Alyssa Sardelli with 11. We got Trip Knowles and Terry Bachlet. With 12, we got Donnie MS. Brooke Reed, Cami, I always say DeCiccio. I know it's not right. Sorry, Cami. I'll get it right one of these days. Mary Beth Darling, Meebs with 12. Laura Farmer with 12. Amy Morgan with 13. Ellie Pendich with 16. Amy Reelman with 19. Myself with 23. Jill Wagner with 25. And Caroline Nathan with 32 Success Club points. Killing it. Okay, so let's see if I can find the PV and coach sign-up recognition. I couldn't find it when I looked a little while ago. Give it one more shot here. So these are the coaches that have signed more than one coach, so 2 or more, during the week of July 16th through the 22nd. Terry Bachlet, these coaches have signed 2 coaches during that time period. Terry Bachlet, Samantha Gross, Melissa Virgil, Julian Prisco, Joyce Rogalski, Jillian Hilferding, Jill Wagner, Jen Cooper, Caroline Nathan, Brooke Reed, and Brittany Babbitt. And with 3 coaches during that time frame, Kristen Coyne, killing it.
I signed 32
During the 16th through the 22nd?
last week, between the last 4 or 5 days.
Okay. Probably I'll get that one on. It'll probably show up in the next recognition. There's usually kind of like a delay, 1 week delay. Where is the PV in here? I don't see the PV recognition. So we'll just recognize Sarah Karbecki for enrolling 3 new coaches. How about that? Killing it. So that's it for recognition. Announcements, that's really the only announcement was that there's a few days left in the month. If you're not on a Team Cup team, definitely get on one. Team Cup is not about Success Club points as much as it is about connecting with other coaches on Team Boom and building relationships with them. The coaches that reach out, get out of their comfort zone, and build relationships with the other coaches on Team Boom are the ones having the most success. So the Team Cup is less about the points and more about that connection and building those connections with your small team. So make sure, if you're not on a team, to post in your coach group and reach out to your coach and get on a team. It's fun, and you can win some prizes. If your team of 5, I just saw this. If your team of 5 coaches combines for 30 Success Club points during the month, there's actually a couple other ways to get points. I think if you rank advance, you get a point, or if one of your PS coaches rank advance, you get a point too. But if your team combines for 30 points, then you get a selfie stick, which is pretty amazing. I can't wait to get my selfie stick, right? I can see how excited Trip is. He's going to be all over the place with that selfie stick.
For that, the combined 30 points, I don't know if it's the same for this year, but before it was always you didn't get a selfie stick unless you personally yourself made Success Club 5. Is that still?
Yeah, it's the same.
So you only get a selfie stick if your team makes 30 and you yourself contributed at least 5 points.
Yep.
Okay.
Gotcha. Okay. Let's see. I got it right here. So if your team combines for 30 points plus you have to hit Success Club 5 yourself, then you get the selfie stick. If your team combines for 50 points and you get at least 7 Success Club points, you also, in addition to the selfie stick, you get a size hat, kind of like the one Caroline's wearing. If you have 75 points as a team and you hit Success Club 10 yourself, then you get a T-shirt and shorts, or a T-shirt, maybe some capris, whatever that is down there. All right, cool. I think that's it for announcements for now. So last week was a really cool call. We had a bunch of the new first-time Summit coaches sharing their top takeaway from Summit. So there was a lot of us that didn't get a chance to share our takeaways. A lot of the veterans that have been to Summit more than once, but also probably some of the coaches that it was their first time still didn't get a chance to share it either. So we'll try to keep this in order by just kind of chatting below in the chat box. If you want to talk, I'll try to keep order, and then I'll call on you guys kind of in order. So whoever, if you want to talk, just message me in the little chat there, or message the group, and then I'll just start reading off names. Cool? Who wants to go first? All right, Beth Reelman, you go. You're up. My mom.
Oh, I lost my glasses, so I can't see. So I'm a little blind here. All I wanted to say was 3 years ago, we went to the Summit, and it was our family of 5. We dragged Amy with us, kicking and screaming. And it was Joe Policino, which was Pat's customer, that he converted to a coach and had great success with. And then Vivian and Robert Rodriguez. Is that right, Pat?
Yeah, and Sandy,
Yeah.
I think, was there.
Oh, and Sandy. So there were 9 of us. And we just kind of wandered around and kind of took in the events. But to come back, that was, what was that, in 2012? So 3 years later, to come back and see this team that has grown to over 2,000 people in Team Boom and 200 coaches to go to the Summit is mind-blowing, isn't it? This business is so exponential. Once you get on, it's like a roller coaster. It's like the little train, is that what you call it, that could? And once it gets going, it explodes, So the ones that are struggling with a couple coaches, it's just a matter of time. And it is amazing. And then thank you to Pat for the T-shirts, and then the Diamonds got the jackets, and my husband put together that rooftop party that we all got to get together. And this is such a family, and just meeting all of the new people and connecting with everyone is just more family, and you bring in your family. It's just, Pat, your sisters, cousins, everybody that's part of this has created something that is just, you just want to be part of it. And that's all love you guys. Awesome.
You do. It is. It's amazing to be a part of a cool, it's a big family. It's awesome. I got Michelle.
All right. Hey, guys. I feel like I say this all the time about every single event, but for me, it's always about the people. It's always my biggest takeaway is always the new relationships I've formed or the new people I've met. But this year it was a little bit different. This was my second Summit, and I had 6 personally sponsored coaches there. And then I think I had somewhere between 30 and 40 in my downline. So this year coming back, I guess, as a leader on the team, and having my own coaches, it was really cool to see them experience Summit for the first time and see the excitement. It was exciting for me too. It doesn't ever not get exciting for me, working out with the trainers, selfies with Tony Horton, that's all awesome and I love it. But it's so cool to see it through the eyes of your coaches and see their excitement and see how they come back fired up. And already my left leg volume is the highest it's ever been this week. And so you can see the ripple effect start to happen with these coaches that have come back ready to kill it with their business, like having their aha moments, like building confidence in themselves again. So that's really my biggest takeaway is getting there and then getting your coaches there and just seeing their excitement of Summit for the first time.
Yeah. I remember like my first event I went to, I was like by myself and I was like constantly like texting. I was like so excited about it. I wanted to like, I just wanted to share it. Like, so I was constantly texting everybody the whole time. Everybody, it was like basically my mom, I think was the only coach I had at the time. But I was like texting, I was so excited about it. And then when you're like in the room and you're so excited to share and they're like right there next to you, really excited about it too. It does. It's like, it just makes it so much cooler.
I have to say, we didn't go to that first summit you went to, and you were texting me like you should be here in California. And that was when your father, we had already been coaches for a couple of years. He had shared, core vitamins. He had shared everything, and he was so into the products, but he was laying on the couch and he said, I'm done. I am done. And I looked at him and I go, you have a son calling you from California that wants you to be part of this business. We have to do this, and he's like, all right, and then we just kept going. You called us from that first summit.
Yeah. Yeah.
So funny.
I was so excited. I wanted to like share it. I like couldn't keep it to myself. But yeah. Cool. How about Annie?
All right. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
All right. I would have to say the same thing as Michelle. This is my 4th summit. And, going your first time, I was like super nervous and with my parents. And I think I literally think I slept in a a double size bed with Pat and Amy and my mom and dad in the other bed. And for me, that's when I found my why. And I was just like, this is real. Like, this is my plan A. So for me to hear my coaches go, I had one personally sponsored coach that went last year, and this year I had 12. So it was pretty crazy to see like the jump in 1 year. But to hear all of them say that this is like, it's real and this is their plan A, and to hear them listen to other people speak about the things that our team already provides, and to hear them mainly talk about their story and like where they want to go with this over the past week. It's like Michelle said, it's almost like I just like kind of like couldn't take it all in. Like I got back and I'm like, that really happened. Like you had 5 people that went, and then there's 20 people that went, and then there's 200 people that went. And, it's surreal to see that other people like start to take this really serious and go with their journey. So that was my biggest takeaway. And then, which my mom was going to talk about, but she didn't. So I'm going to talk about. She's like, don't talk about this on the call, but she didn't talk about it. So outside of, what is that bar that we were at like constantly? It was the like right outside the Omni. It was the restaurant where we ate every day.
Barlow?
Yeah. So we just sat around after on Saturday night, and I just asked people, a couple of people sitting at the table, like, what was your biggest takeaway from Summit, and what would you tell your coaches about how to get here, or what was your biggest takeaway? And that was probably my biggest aha moment, was just hearing all the coaches, slowly start to feel really comfortable with themselves in this in coaching, that they could do this, and that, just hearing their whys and their biggest takeaways from that. And I wish I had a video camera of that experience, but if you guys were there, then yeah, it was pretty cool to hear everyone else talk about that.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I was like bummed because I got there kind of late and missed like the first half. But
yeah, I just asked like 4 people, and then like I think at the end I'm almost like 40 people shared. So it was cool because I feel like we're coming back. A lot of my coaches and coaches that went are really more confident in themselves and their stories, and that they can do this, and that they see other people. So that's probably it's really cool to see people do that. So
sure. Awesome. Thanks, Annie. How about Marie?
Let's see. I guess, last year when I first decided to go to Summit, I wasn't really a big risk taker. And to be able to just go and do something like that. And I was talking to my sister, Alyssa, and she was like, you need to go. She's like, this is really important. You need to go. So I went, and then, my business just exploded, my coach's business within that year. So having 2 coaches, first going to Summit in my downline, to this year being able to bring 4 coaches that I personally sponsored with me was huge, because I kind of felt like Pat for a second when he used to tell the story about the escalator all the time. And they're like, God, I keep failing in this and this and this. And I was like pretending I was Pat for a second. I was like, look, well, you're going up this escalator and you just feel like you're going up it and you're going up it. And then, you just feel like you're stuck on it. And then all of a sudden you get to the top of that escalator and it's full speed ahead. So that was like a really big thing, because I feel like the first year I was like, you're growing as a coach, but you're really learning what to do. And my biggest takeaway this year, I guess, was just even being on that stage is like, I knew it was possible. And like what everyone said when I was on the other side, like watching people, like really would happen if, I stayed consistent. So I guess also the biggest thing that I learned too was like including your family more in the process. That's really important. I used to shut my door and be like, I'm working out, this is important, and lock my door. And I'm in here in this like secret society of, Beachbody, where nobody really knows what's going on besides me, which you really can't do that. So, I brought my husband this year, and like people were even like, wow, like I didn't know you were married, like, because I guess I don't post about it. So, I need to like include that more, include my kids more, like they're working out with me more, and they're, I've locked them out right now. You probably hear them outside the door, but that was like a big takeaway too, because at first you feel like people are mad at you and they don't maybe support your business, but you need to include them more so that they can understand it.
Yeah.
I agree with that, Marie, because my husband was actually Pat's first ever coach.
Hold on, my son has a gun.
Oh. But I actually came back from Summit saying to Chuck, my husband, who hears about Beachbody constantly because my family's always there, but he's a huge supporter now, but he did not support me at all.
Yeah.
But I said the biggest takeaway another takeaway that I took was that, because they talked a lot about relationships, and I don't think I could really, with the 2 kids and all this, like he supports me, but you have to like be really open in the beginning with your spouses about what you can do for the long term with this business, because in the beginning you're not making any money, and my husband's all like, you're putting in all this time but nothing's coming out of it,
and now they're like, how much did you make this week? Like they get excited. They're like, wow, like that's awesome.
Exactly. So it's just like really being open and like even inviting them to go to Summit, or inviting them to go to their retreat, or just being like, this is really important to be on the team call, like why don't you get on the team call with me, and so that's kind of, I was explaining to my husband, like, it's important for like our team to be able to explain this to our spouses, because we are taking away from our family time and your time and all that. So that was a big takeaway for me too.
Yeah. I think something as easy as, instead of saying, I got to go work on my business, saying like our business, even though they're maybe not a part of like the coaching per se, but it is like your family's business. Like the income is for your family. So it's not your business. It's our business. I think that's just that little thing. It makes them feel a little bit more a part of it. Okay. How about T?
Hi. Okay. So this was, let me close this door. This was my second summit. And before I came to this summit, I was in like a really bad funk, not only in my business, but in my fitness and my health. I was like eating ice cream and candy and just, that was horrible. And I wasn't working on my business very much, here and there. So when I came to Summit, I was pretty sure, obviously, that when I got there, it would help me get out of my funk, because I went to my first summit was like mind blowing. So it did help me get out of my funk. So that was a plus. And, you know, I not only met new people on the team and made new awesome friends, but I strengthened my relationships with my existing Team Boom friends. And to me, that's just priceless. And in terms of business knowledge, I had a big aha moment in can't remember the name of the seminar. Oh, Leveraging the Power of Your Story. I don't know if any of you remember that one. But that was the speakers, not necessarily, but the information was awesome. Like I'm going to have to work on my story for sure. I don't really share it I share my 21-day fix story all the time, but that's, you know, not my real story. So I need to definitely work on my story, and the seminar had really good information on how to like lay it out and not put it all in one post and kind of like sprinkle little breadcrumbs. And so I got a lot out of that seminar. So I'm definitely going to be digging deeper and sharing my story a lot more, because I think it'll definitely be good for my business, not only to find challengers, but to find good coaches. So that was my big takeaway from Summit.
Yeah. That's awesome. That guy, what was his name? Like Simon Sinek, something like that. He was one of the speakers. He's the guy that talks about like the fact that people don't necessarily connect with like how you do stuff. So you can like tell them how you build your business, but they're not going to connect with it emotionally.
Right.
They will connect with why you do what you do.
Yeah.
That's
like I've always shared like my fitness story, and I thought that's always what was your story, but it really isn't. It's you know, what made you who you are today, not even fitness related, just personal life, you know, childhood, just whatever. Everybody has stuff, you know. So being open and able to share that stuff on Facebook with, you know, people, you know, it's scary. So to learn how to do it in like the right way really helped me, because I had no idea. So yeah, it was very helpful. I liked that one.
Did anyone, like, including T, does anyone remember, just quickly before we move on, like what were some of like the big bullet points for like how you're supposed to share your story?
I have my notes. I wonder if they're right here.
That's what I was going to talk about. When
You want to go now, Alyssa?
what's that?
You want to go now?
Yeah. So that's what I wanted to share, because like I obviously now I have a strong story with my cancer journey, but I realized with this seminar that we have to make sure that we're comfortable sharing our story before we actually put it out there, and also practicing sharing your story. Like I got asked to speak at a Super Saturday, so now I'm like, oh yeah, now I have to like practice sharing my story. But some of the bullet points that I got from leveraging the power of your story is the importance of telling your story is that it shows your vulnerability, and it shows your real self. It makes you relatable, and it builds your self-confidence, and it grows your business. Like, unfortunately, like my story is cancer, but everyone can relate to cancer in some way. Like everyone knows someone that has had breast cancer. And so that's kind of attracted people to me. They can relate to me. So, and everyone, it doesn't have to be a emotional story. It can be a financial roadblock that you hit, and then Beachbody has helped you overcome that financial problem. It could be a physical transformation that you can share with people. And it can, like I said, it can be emotional. Like Beachbody has helped me get through a lot of emotional burdens in my past. They said your trials can become your triumphs, your struggle into your story, your adversity is your advantage, and your mess is your message.
Can you repeat those real quick?
Trials can become triumphs, your struggle into your story, your adversity is your advantage, and your mess is your message. And they also said, don't share your trials and tribulations unless you have a teaching out of it. You have to be okay with that mess first before you share it.
That's great.
Ask yourself, can this inspire? Will this make a difference? And am I being real? And like T said, breadcrumbs. You don't have to put your entire story of whatever happened to you in the last 10 years out there. Just do bits and pieces. A lot of people don't even want to read 5 paragraphs of your story. 3 sentences is good. And practice telling it. Like if you're going to share your story to other people in front of other people, practice it. And what do you do with your story? You tell it. So practice telling it, film yourself with a success partner, with your friends, get feedback on a team call, on social media, at a Super Saturday event. It's okay to share about your success, but share how you got there. And reveal it into chapters. Start with a simple script. So when, what, and how. And get comfortable with one aspect of your story and share that. Develop several short stories to share with different audiences. And have a clear beginning, ending, and something to back to your topic. I don't know. And talk and post like you're talking to one person. Don't say like everyone. Say, I want you to join my challenge. Like act like you're talking to one person, and that's your post. You're posting to them. And that's it.
Awesome. Cool. Well, first, I just want to say thank you for showing us how to be a fighter and how to stay optimistic no matter what obstacle is thrown at you. I know I've learned so much watching you on this journey.
Yeah. My last treatment is on Tuesday.
I know. I'm excited.
I'm so excited. And my mom, just by the way, she was alone with Carl Deichler in the elevator at Summit. And she said, if it wasn't for Beachbody, she would not be getting through this journey. Like the support from our team and the entire Beachbody community, and like not just coaches on our team, but other coaches have reached out to me and shown support, and it's really helped me. And that's part of my story, is Beachbody has helped me get through this. And I don't think that I would have been I don't think I would have handled chemo as well as I did if I didn't drink Shakeology like I did before I got cancer, or if I didn't do the fitness programs. Like I really think it prepared me for this. So that's
Very good.
that.
We got your back. Can't be messed with the wrong girl.
Yep.
Does anyone have anything they want to say to Alyssa, or any questions about what she talked about? Anybody?
Team Boom loves you, Alyssa.
Aww.
Yay! You're a fighter.
I love you guys too. And thank you so much for all of the fundraising that you did. I didn't have to, all my medical bills were paid for because of our team and the fundraising and everything. So I really appreciate that. That was huge for me.
Yeah.
That's
Thank
awesome.
you.
Yeah.
Love it. I think that's a big topic that people struggle with, is the sharing their story. Does anyone have any questions about that part of it, about what Alyssa talked about, how to go about doing that? Nada. Okay, so how about Melissa Klein?
Okay. I don't know why I have to talk after all that. That's not fair. But I think the biggest takeaway, I went to Summit last year, and it was an amazing experience. And I think it was my second like live event, but it was just really great to be able to connect with everyone on the team in a more personal way. This year, it definitely was harder, I think, to do that just because there was so many people, and there's so many people that you want to spend time with, but it's only a few short days. But I think for me, what was a big wake-up call about Summit this year was that so many people that I started with kind of at around the same time when I started my business, who I went to Summit with last year and we were at the same place in our business, are like light years ahead of me now. And that's because I haven't stayed committed and consistent with my business over the last year. And it was, it was kind of this wake-up call. And when we had that little discussion that Annie was talking about on the last day, my takeaway was kind of like, I'm either all in or I'm all out. Like, I can't just keep half-assing my business. It doesn't make sense. Like, it's a waste of my time. It's a waste of the people I'm working with time. Like, and obviously I've chosen to go all in, and I'm really excited about that. But I just think like it was a big wake-up call for me. Like, I've wasted a lot of time, and there's good things that have happened to me over the year in my business and in my, physical like health and wellness journey, but I could be so much farther along. And I think going to those live events reminds you of exactly what it takes. Again, not difficult things, really simple things to keep your business going and move it forward. And it was just a reminder that all those people that are now diamonds and star diamonds, I could have been in that same place, but it's not too late, because any day you start and commit to this business is the day that your business is going to start moving forward and continue moving forward as long as you stay consistent. So I didn't miss out on the opportunity. The opportunity is still there, and it might happen to me a year later or even 2 years later. That's okay, as long as it happens. So I think for me, it was just like another wake-up call that I need to get on track with things. And since I've been home, I really have been. And although I haven't signed, 3 new coaches like Rockstar Sarah Korbecki in the last week, I've had a lot more conversations with people who are interested in coaching, and I'm going to be hitting Success Club as of today and just getting back on track with those things. And I'm really excited about the Team Cup. I think that's great that they have it right after Summit, because there's so much energy around it. Another thing that I took away from Summit was really about building relationships. I think especially when you get off track with your business so many times, and I feel like I've started and stopped. When you start again, it's all about numbers, and you want to hit Success Club, and you want to just keep inviting 600 people and like want to get on track with your business. But it's really, for me, what I'm going to do moving forward is really, if it takes me longer, and that's because I've built down deep with my coaches, I'm okay with that. And building those relationships, I would rather, just sell those 5 challenge packs and have really strong challengers who have really great success than focus on so many people that I get overwhelmed and end up stopping. And building those relationships, I think the quote that I took away from that was, most people don't listen with the intent to connect. You listen with the intent to respond. So I've gotten myself in this track where like I'm sending all these invites and talking to people with the intent to sell them a challenge pack and not to develop a relationship. And I'd rather connect with those people on a deeper level so that they trust me and continue with Shakeology, because I've sold a bunch of challenge packs and I've never seen those people again. And what's the point of that? That doesn't build a long-standing business. So I think my focus coming away from Summit is to really just take each individual person that I connect with as an individual person. Don't even start talking about the challenge packs until it's time to. And if the sale doesn't come till 6 months from now, that's okay. In 6 months, it'll be a great sale, and hopefully they'll continue on with the business. But I just I don't know. That's it.
That was awesome, Melissa. You're like the best motivational speaker. She has the best Coach Basics group. I like ran one with her, and I was like, she's way better than I am.
No way.
That was great. I heard like Christina Delgado said on like a national call, don't have a one-night stand with your customers, have a marriage. I think you hit the nail on the head with that. It's true. It might take a little bit longer, but you can have those one-night stands, get a couple Success Club points, and then you never hear from that person again, or you take the time to really build that relationship and it lasts long-term. And that's how you build a sustainable business, which is cool. That's awesome. Thanks, Melissa. That was great. How about Amy Morgan?
I don't know how to go after that. I had a couple of full circle moments and kind of like a wake up call whenever I was there too. This is my second summit, and last year I went with just one coach, and like Annie, I came with 12 personally sponsored coaches, and I don't know how many people in my downline. So it's kind of a full circle moment a couple of times, and really exciting to see them come to me and say, I want to be on that stage. I know I can be there, and that's what I'm going to do. And for me, that makes me proud, because to them, they get that experience and they get to see that they truly can do this business, and it doesn't take anything more than just having the heart of a servant leader and being consistent in everything that we do. So that was another thing too for me. When I came home, I kind of had a mindset shift almost. Like, I've never been a hobby coach, but Josh and I, my husband and I, decided whenever we came home that he was quitting his job in 2 months and working for himself, which is really fearful and really scary, but it kind of made me have a holy shit moment that I've worked so hard over these last 2 years, and a dream that I've had is coming to fruition. And it kind of kicked me in the butt a little bit to really realize that I have to show up every single day, and I have to lead with the heart of a servant constantly to my team. And when I do that, they're going to have success. And so that's kind of my biggest takeaway. And two, watching my sister come home with belief was really, really big for me, because I've been talking about this thing for 2 years, and I think they've looked at me like I'm a little bit crazy. And now I come home and she has belief, and it's starting to kind of have the trickle down effect in my family too, which is super cool to see as well. So.
Watch out. Could turn into the next Reelman family.
That's what I'm hoping for. I'll take it.
I have to say, when I look at my news feed, you guys look alike, and I'm like, wait, is that Amy? That's how I'm sure Amy thinks about me.
It's got that a lot.
Both.
We're not sisters.
I've been watching.
She's adopted.
You're awesome. Cool. Thanks, Amy. How about Terry? Is Terry Bocklet still on?
Yes, I'm here. It's kind of funny. I've listened to so many different people now. I don't know exactly where to go. If you don't know me, I'm Patrick's aunt, Beth's sister. She signed me up. And I have been following the family, Andrea and Amy and Pete and Patrick. And I just have to say that, first of all, I'm so proud of you guys. And going to Summit for the first time, I also was just proud to be there, be a part of the company and our team. And the first time I went to any event was the real event was when, I'm looking at Amy Morgan right now, was the first cruise. I wasn't really into coaching at that time, but I went, and there were a lot of girls and men that were there that are all now diamonds and leaders. And it's just so amazing to sit there and go to Summit, and they're up on stage, or they've got a flock of coaches around them. This all happened in 2 years. So, it is going to Summit and seeing the belief, like, it happened so quickly. This is anybody who's here that's new, and I see so many new faces. This is the real deal. These guys have done an amazing job, and if you go to the events and do what they're saying and believe, and really, do the three. I still believe in the 3 vital behaviors. There's 5 and all that, but learn about Shakeology. It's a science, and that's what I'm going to do now. That's what I listening to all the different stuff, I just feel like Shakeology is it for me. I feel like it's going to help a lot of people, and that's where I'm going with my business. I just feel like we are like on the front end of wellness, because our country is a mess. And so I see all these leaders out there, so they're bringing in these coaches, and it's wonderful, but we really have a big job. We have a job to do. We're like nurses, doctors. They don't have the answer. I mean, we have the answer. So I'm really, really excited about it. And I want my kids to get involved, like the Reelmans and Amy's family. Like, that's why I was very excited this year. I had, for my first summit, I had 3 personally sponsored and 8 coaches on either side. And I was like, wow, and they're in their 20s, and they're so lucky, because if they do this business, they're going to be so proud of themselves, and they're going to help so many people. So, like, I feel like my sister Beth, we were like the moms, looking at these girls. It's like, get in there and do this. This is amazing. You're going to, you're going to help so many people and you're going to change so many lives. So it was just a really proud moment just to be there and looking really at the younger generation. Like we have a big job here, you know. This is pretty cool. So it's about the relationships. It's about you know financial freedom, doing what you want to do. But you know, back to the CEO of the company. I mean, it's really, he said, "What are we doing here? You know, we're going to try to help Americans." And I really think that we're going to do it. I feel like we are the profession that is going to really be. Do you have a Beachbody coach? You know, so it's really exciting. So if you're, you know, that's all I have to say.
That was great. He actually said that again at the Miami Super Saturday. He said, like, in the future, people are going to be talking about how they have a Beachbody coach. And when someone says they don't have a Beachbody coach, everyone's going to be like, oh, you don't have a Beachbody coach? So he's like trying to create like a whole new like occupation, because there really isn't anything like that just yet, but we're getting there.
I think it really is. I think it is an occupation. I came back, like I went over, I brought my shake. I made up for a guy who's exhausted, and, you know, like, I feel like I'm a nurse. Like, listen, you need your nutrients. Like, there's, you know, learn about Shakeology. Why do we also feel so great from drinking it? Like, I think that in my group is going to be the big thing now, just studying it. What is it doing? There's so much science in that bag. You know, yes, we have to do all the little things with our team and teach them the scripts and all that. But if you have a passion for it, it's better than them taking a pill. I don't know if Steve's on tonight, but he just posted, I mean, he's going off all his meds, and it's just kind of like, that's pretty exciting. You know, we have an opportunity to really, really help a lot of people. So yeah, enough of me. Go on with someone young.
No, that was awesome. You really nailed it. And then you are like, it is nice, like, having you and my mom as kind of like the moms, the Team Boom moms, I guess. It kind of gives us this like motherly feel. It makes it more of like a family, which is kind of our goal, right? We don't want to be like another Beachbody team within Team Beachbody. We want it to be more like a family, where people come in and feel like loved and supported. And I think you and my mom like really make that even more of a family feeling. So it's cool. It's a cool thing. And I think, and it's funny, like I got a ton of messages from a lot of coaches on other teams and a lot of the leaders on other teams that said like, how have you been able to create such like an amazing close-knit family feel? Like, everyone at Summit, everyone had Team Boom t-shirts on, like flocking together, looking like they had so much fun. And I said, we just have amazing leaders. They're just really great people, and we attract really good people. And it starts with, I think, you know, Terry and my parents, and we're just trying to like follow what you guys are doing. So it's cool.
One little thing, last thing, quickly, Pat.
Yeah.
Last thing, you know, you're saying we're all so close. So I stayed in the room with Pete and Beth. And so you hear, you know, Amy and Andrea were practicing for their speech. Was pretty amazing, you know, to see that you know, they're getting up there for their speech. And so I'm very lucky. I get to see a lot of the behind the scenes, what Beth goes through, what Pete goes through, the girls, Pat, you being so, you know, proud of your sisters and, you know, the whole bit. So it's the last night, they go to get on their flights the last day. And a lot of these kids couldn't go. I don't know if you knew, the flights were backlogged because of the wires in the cookbook. Did you know that was the reason? So that's kind of funny. So Kelly Hanner, I think she might be on here. She comes back in. So now we've got 5 in the room, 3 in one bed, and it's Amy Reelman and Kelly and me. And I'm sitting there going, these little dynamos, maybe if I just sleep here, it'll all just absorb into me. Like, you know, they're up on stage, and, you know, and I ended up sleeping on the floor. But I worked out with them next day, but I was so
You didn't make you sleep on the floor, though. That was your choice.
Yeah, I know. It doesn't matter.
And what about Pete? He had the door of the revolving women coming in.
All right, I'm going to get off. That's true. But the last thing was that the girls worked out with me in the morning, and I'm just sitting there thinking, I'm so proud of these 2 girls, because I can go look at someone else and say, do this. It's worth it. You have a whole life ahead of you. You guys are in your 20s. You know, like, 30s do this. This is an amazing, amazing thing. So proud of you girls and everybody else.
Proud of you, Terry.
Randomly, my dad just came up to my house, so here he is.
I woke up in the middle of the night trying to go to the bathroom, and Terry was sleeping on the floor. I almost stepped on her head.
I don't know where he came from.
That's my takeaway from Summit.
He almost killed you, Terry.
That would have been bad. That would have been a tough ending to Summit.
I had a towel on me for my blanket.
Hey, family. I got a lot of comments about our family's weird. You know, like we're almost too tight. How about that like post that Brian put on my Facebook wall of me and him like reenacting the Titanic?
Yeah.
It's a little odd, but hey, we have a good time.
Called Whatever It Takes.
Whatever it takes, yeah. Sometimes, you know, you can't always be perfect. Being odd is what makes it a little fun sometimes. And you gotta show every part of yourself. So I don't know about that reenactment post though. I don't know about that one. All right, how about Sarah Korbecki?
Hello. So my phone kept dying. I kind of missed. I'm assuming we're just sharing our takeaways from last year and this year. So this year was like totally different for me, and I tried to take away a lot of information from the trainings. So I'm just going to share some of what I thought was really important. It was Allie Upham's invitation to transformation training. That one really stuck out to me because she said when you're talking to people, like listen for their limitations. So she asked like, what kind of time do you have to commit to work out? And so she said a lot of excuses are like, there's no time, no support, they're not in shape, they don't have money, and there's no follow through. And when she was talking, I was like, oh my God, she's talking about me, because that's all the excuses I give myself even being a coach. So that was one of my like big aha moments, was like, if I'm supposed to be the leader and the teacher, then I need to step out of being the student. So I've had this thing the past from last summit to this summit, which is like stay in the try. Happy kind of just kept telling me like, just keep trying, like don't give up, just stay in the try. It will click at some point. So coming back from summit, I sat down and like one of the first things I just like picked up my pen and put it to paper. I was like, get out of the try and get into the go, like get into the do, you know, just like stop trying, start doing. You can't keep trying anymore. You just have to start doing it. So that was important for me. And then they talked about, you know, just building relationships. I feel like that's my strong point. I was excited because I had a couple of my own personally sponsored coaches there and people in my downline. I just really came back excited. It's been a long time since I've been excited to do the work. But every day now I'm excited to do the work, even when I'm not. Like last night I was messaging Michelle and I was like, I have been working like 7 to 10 every night. I set business hours for myself and I've been working on doing those with intention, which is like what Amy and I talked about. But I was like, okay, I'm going to push it back to 8, but I'm still going to do the work. Before I would just do it tomorrow. So I just kept going today. And I realized that I'm the only one standing in my way. I feel like Melissa Klein and I, our stories are pretty similar with standing in our own way and not getting where we wanted to go a year from now. And we talk throughout the year and we have always connected on that. So I'm excited to see where it goes from this year to next year. And I was excited to meet a lot of new people too. I'm a people person and a hugger, and I ran up to a lot of you that probably didn't even know me, and just like, especially at the Team Boom, like deck night, and that's like really important to me too, is building the relationships and everyone feeling welcome. So that's what I got for today.
Awesome. Thanks, Sarah. I know there's a bunch of people that still haven't got to go. We got 10 minutes left. So how about Sydney? Is Sydney on?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Oh yeah, we can hear you now.
Awesome. Yay. I loved Summit. I want to be back in Nashville like every day. Like I had the best time ever with everybody, with the team. I
to be honest too, like I didn't even realize how many of us were there until that day in the lobby when just that sea of blue shirts came out of nowhere, and I was like, what is this? So that was just amazing to see, because I was there last year too, and there weren't as many, but it still it didn't seem like overwhelming. We all came together and got to hang out and have that time, and so that was awesome, obviously. And then just from what I've learned, so last year I was there as an emerald, and this year I was there as a diamond. So next year, obviously, I have goals 5-star. So I'm gonna shoot for the stars. But I really learned a lot from all the speakers, and I think my few biggest takeaways was, one thing was the speed of the leader is the speed of the pack. So that really hit me hard, because I know that, leadership is everything. And so I've never had a problem like signing up other coaches, and then they just went away. And so I know that I need to work on my leadership skills, and this just really like opened my eyes onto what I need to do that and be there for my team and my downline. Also that we're social animals and we're the product of our environment. So again, based on leadership, that, that's up to me to make this environment for, my team, my coaches, and my challengers. Like, we're giving them an experience, and like we were talking about, make them your best friend, not just for the time they're doing the challenge, I think, but you're building a relationship with somebody that could be potentially lifelong. Like, you never know. And with other coaches too, like I met some people in Nashville that I never would have met if it weren't for Beachbody, and it turns out we're like super best friends. And I texted Amy a picture not long before I went to Summit. I did this Facebook quiz thing, and it said that she and I are soulmates. So I was like, just so you know, Facebook says we're soulmates. But, and again, like none of this would have happened if it weren't for Beachbody, and if it weren't for, going to Nashville and stepping out of my comfort zone and just going for it and meeting people and talking to people. I was always really shy growing up, so this has been just super opening for me. I think there was one other thing I wanted to talk about. Oh, again, with leadership too, don't be the best in the world, be the best for the world. So that's helped me like work on myself more too. Like I was doing things maybe for the wrong reasons. Like I wanted Success Club, and I wanted just to like almost have that mentality of I just want to make that sale. But I really want to help people, and with that sale comes changing somebody's life. So I think those were my biggest takeaways.
It's true. This whole like journey, you're changing people's lives the whole every step of the way. Even the people that aren't buying stuff from you necessarily, that you're not getting Success Club points from, just posting some positive stuff on Facebook. They might never like it, they might never comment, but it might make their day. That was awesome. Thanks, Sydney. How about Victoria? And then someone named Jigglypuff. I'm not sure who that is. Great name, though.
Hey, can you hear me, Pat?
Yep, gotcha.
Cool. Okay, so I took a whole lot away from Summit because, well, it's a long story, and I might get emotional, but that's okay. So, many of you might not know me because I'm a part of Bod Squad, the smaller group that's under Amy Morgan. But so before I showed up at Summit, I was engaged, and by the time I left, I wasn't anymore. So it was this whole big, long thing that happened. But I guess Summit was really just entering there in the first place was a whole big game changer for me because of because of just the fact that I'm actually doing something for myself, because I'm always the one that wants to help other people. And that's exactly what this business is. And now this experience helped me a whole lot. So going there and figuring out what all happened with my situation, I literally stuff would have been so different if I wasn't there. I felt like I was placed there for a reason. It literally gave me a reset button. And that was the best thing that's happened to me, honestly. So, and then leaving from there, I always say I'm going to do stuff wholeheartedly, and I half-assed everything up to this point since I started coaching in February. So now, like, I feel like I've been given the drive to actually go out and do something for myself, because at the end of the day, you're sleeping by yourself no matter what. That's a given. So it's been a whole game changer, and coming back and having to move back in with my parents was difficult because I said I would never do it. So now my goal is to be, I'm going to say it now so I keep myself to it. My goal next year, I came in as an emerald. This was my first summit. This year I came in as an emerald. My goal next year is to go in as a 3-star diamond. So I'm just putting that out there so you all hear that and keep me to it. So I'm ready for this change. I'm so excited.
Boom. 3-star. I'm writing it down. I'm holding you to it.
Do it.
That was awesome. Thank you.
Yep.
Okay. Jigglypuff, whoever that is. Is there a Jigglypuff?
It's Maria Vella. That's who it is.
Okay.
Okay, there we go. My biggest takeaway was partly the fact that I actually went to Summit because I was really close to not going. But I put myself out there. I met everybody. I enjoyed all the speakers. It gave me the motivation I needed to move faster, I guess. I've been waking up at 4:45 every morning to do invites, and that sucks. But I just like breadcrumbing, telling little bits about your story instead of doing it all at once to keep people, thinking about you. That's what I took away. I mean, there's a lot, but that was the main stuff. And I'm looking forward to next year.
Boom. So you got your ticket?
Oh, yeah.
Good deal.
I might be sleeping in my car, but I got my ticket.
Nah, you'll be making some good income by then. You got a full year to build your business. Awesome.
I'll make sure you're not sleeping on a floor that's crazy or in your car. That's nuts. You're a rock star.
Yeah. So I guess like my takeaway was that this was the first summit that I saw some of the Team Boom coaches walk across stage, and the fact that some of them were my family made it even cooler. And the others are now some of my closest friends. For me, it's kind of I think it's kind of awkward for me to walk across stage, especially for elite, because elite is totally about what your team has done. So the fact that I'm the only one getting recognized for elite walking across the stage is very kind of awkward for me. And being able to watch the other coaches on Team Boom that have been a big part of their life and a part of their business, and seeing how much success they had and how excited they were to go on stage. For me, that was the most exciting thing. So much more exciting than walking across stage myself. The other takeaway I would have is that this is just so much bigger than me. It's kind of funny that it kind of started just by – it can start with just you as yourself, and you can create something so much bigger. And you guys kind of all nailed it. Terry talked about what we're doing. I love the fact that we're changing people's lives as far as their health and their wellness, not just their nutrition, not just their fitness, but their mindset too. Being surrounded by a bunch of positive, supportive people changes people's lives just for that reason alone. And the thing that I love even more, maybe even more than that, is we're giving people the opportunity to be a part of this ripple effect, to create a living doing something that they absolutely love, instead of being stuck at a job that they don't necessarily love, because you're at your job and spending more time with your coworkers than you are with your family, which is crazy. But with this, we're giving people the opportunity to create a living doing something they love, changing people's lives. And when we're gone, the effort that we've put in, the ripple effect we've created is still going to be going on. So a part of us is going to continue to live on after we're gone. This is like a generational thing that's so much bigger than we give it credit for. And that really hit me hard when all of a sudden I came to Summit after I'd been there by myself one time. A few years later, now there was 200 Team Boom coaches, and I can't even imagine next year. So that was my biggest takeaway. This thing is huge, and it's awesome. So that's all we got, a little bit over. In 3 weeks from now, we got the right-hand man of the CEO, Carl Deichler. His right-hand man is Jeff Hill. He is the one that leads the national wake-up calls. He's going to be our guest speaker on our Team Boom call in 3 weeks. So definitely mark that one down. And we got some cool stuff in the next 2 weeks with the team calls too. So keep an eye out for that. But that's all we got. We'll end this thing with a boom, and we're out of here. Love you guys. That was great. I'm going to unmute you. All right. Boom on 3. 1, 2, 3.
You can do like find the place.
All right.